Portal is a first-person puzzle game where you play as a female protagonist who uses a sciencey gun to work her way through various chambers with, most of the time, only an AI for company. And the award for the world's longest brick joke goes to me. Yes, Portal is all those things that I said over a year ago. It was also developed and published by Valve and released in 2007 as part of the Orange Box, and is maybe the game that I've seen the most different individual people play on YouTube. Everyone knows what it is, it's ridiculously famous, and with good reason. From the moment you first hear GLaDOS malfunction, mere seconds in, you know this game is going to be comedic, and also that everything isn't as pristine as it first appears, which is a brilliant introduction. And then you step through that first portal and catch a glimpse of your body stepping through that first portal, and you know that this is going to be something special. Far too often people have tried to replicate Portal's AI character and first-person puzzling setup, and they all fall flat because nothing can beat the simple genius idea of a gun that connects two holes together. Portal was never meant to be anything too flashy. Between the critically acclaimed Half-Life 2 and the shiny new Team Fortress 2, it was kinda meant to be filler. And its simplicity serves it well. It doesn't get too ambitious, it knows what it wants to do and executes it excellently, introducing cubes, energy balls, turrets, and that's about it throughout the course of the game. That does not mean that they were slacking though. The dedicated effort that's been put into this game shines through at every possibility. GLaDOS is funny in a very dark way and also kind of creepy. Of course, we all probably know her entire script in English, German and Chinese at this point, but imagine playing for the first time and not knowing exactly how malicious that disembodied omniscient voice was. With no idea what's coming once you've hit test chamber 19 and nothing but a scrawled note on a wall from Ratman insisting that she's not to be trusted. That's exactly the kind of vibe I like. Not horror, but unsettling. It's so good. And sure, there are only 19 test chambers, the game is short, and I was fully prepared to say that for idiots like me it still provides plenty of hours of gameplay, but this game was, I think, the subject of the first, thankfully long since private video on this channel, and with the benefit of now having actually played a computer game before, it doesn't last you more than a few hours. But its puzzles still feel clever. They're never malicious. If you do get a little stuck, you stop, you take a look around, and oh, it all clicks into place. How excellently designed it is. It even still looks good. They've gone for a kind of realism, but everything being smooth or flat helps it last the test of time. Whack it into 4K, and unless you're smearing your face along a wall to scrutinise the textures, you can easily forget that you're playing a game from 15 whole years ago, until the flow has to stop while it loads to the next area. It would be nicer if that weren't the case, but also that would be like admonishing the game for not inventing time travel. I don't know much about how games are put together, I'm unsure why exactly the trees in the final cutscene cut off at the top, but I'm sure it's doing its best for the time. First person platforming might be a little tricky, but that's why it's got a mode that funnels you slightly into portals that you're moving towards. It does what it can. In fact, you might be hard pressed to find a game with level design or writing like this now. There's one line in this game that works on 3 different levels. The first when you take it as is, the second when you realise what GLaDOS is really saying, and then the last once you've hit the end credits and you look back on it and wonder if she might have actually been sincere after all. It is genius. Top that off with an end credit song that deserves a mention, even if it did get me my first ever copyright warning, and the score's probably going to be quite high. Yeah, that's not wrong. I'm a bit torn between a 9 and a 10, but as I tend to score games as they are in front of me, regardless of whether they were more impressive in the past, GTA, or might have untapped potential for the future, Hitman, I'm leaning more towards a 9. I can, however, entirely see how this got its way onto the list of best games of all time in 2007 though. There's a reason why when Valve wants to launch a new console, they come back to this world to set their tutorial game. And if it's only lost 1 point after 15 years, then it's going to be a long time before this game isn't worth playing.